What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler. You're watching Mom's Basement MMA, and joining me on the program today is Ray Hayes. Ray, welcome to the show. I like watching you fight. You knock people out, and you're the FAC champion. So I think that's pretty cool that you're on this program today, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
2024, ton of fights. You're taking everybody out of there. As I mentioned before, you're the FAC lightweight champ or featherweight champion. I'm sorry. I know you didn't get the ending you wanted in 2024, but when you unpack what it is that you accomplished, you did a lot, man. Like, tell me about 2024. What are your overall thoughts about what it was that you were able to do last year?
I made my pro debut late the year before, so we were really just kind of riding that momentum. I got a good win there against one of my actual tougher guys. That first debut was actually my next two probably weren't even as tough as that dude. So starting off really strong, and then we took some easier fights, just to get acclimated to those 5 minutes, just to get the time in. But other than that, we after those two, we really just jumped straight in, man. I got a co-main event for, the Dakota Bush's fight, so I got a big spotlight in my third pro fight. After that, I fought Ira Lakowski, ex-Titan FC champ. He was a big name. I got a highlight knockout, flying knee. So that was super cool coming off that, and then immediately right off that, FAC called us and wanted us to fight for their belt, and nobody gets that call. Nobody just gets to fight for FAC for their title. The ones that do have all went to the UFC, so jumped on that immediately. It was a great fight. I mean, that's probably the best camp I've ever had, best I've felt. The most growth I've had. So went into that great. And then, I mean, just being in that kind of mindset, I turned around and tried to go double champ, again, but, came up short, didn't get what I wanted. But it just lit a fire for this year, ending the year off a loss. I don't think anything could have happened differently. Like if I won, I don't think I'd be this hungry, So I think that just lit a fire for 2025, and we're going to go redo the same stuff I did.
Well, you already partially answered my next question. It was unpacking the loss. Like you're a guy that doesn't lose, and it went out there, didn't go your way. What was like the biggest thing? Like, what was your main takeaway from suffering the first defeat as a pro? And was it just kind of right back to the gym the following day, or did you need a few days before you went back?
No, yeah, I was there the Monday after, but obviously, I got a TKO loss, so I wasn't going hard or getting punched or anything. So I took my time off from that, learned my mistakes. In all reality, I really just got caught. I got caught early enough to where I could make the right changes, and I've never been caught in training in a fight. I've never been put in very many bad positions. So that's the first time I've ever felt that. Any fighter that's been rocked you multiple times, they can tell you the first time's probably the worst. You don't know what it is, you don't know how to feel, how to react, where to the grapple, run, what to do. So I kind of just went into a shell mode, deflect, buy time, kind of clear the cobwebs, and it really wasn't enough to keep the ref off me. But just experiencing that, just chalking it up as I got caught. It's part of the game. Everyone gets caught, even the best. I mean, especially now, look at like Holloway and Volk. Everyone's getting caught lately. So I think now is an easier time to accept it, to kind of realize that it happens at all levels. So just pushing through that and realizing that's a fight that I can win, that I could have won, that I, was doing great in. You just get caught and things happen.
Completely understand. Well, Ray, that bout happened several months ago. We're talking about 5 months. And for most fighters, that's a normal turnaround time, 5, 6 months in between fights. For you, abnormal, because in 2024, you were a guy that was fighting roughly every 90 days. Was it weird and difficult at the same time being away from fighting for a few months?
Uh, so actually, before I even lost, I kind of told Colton that I wanted these holidays. I wanted Thanksgiving and Christmas because I've missed it for the last 3 years. I haven't celebrated a Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's just the game I signed up for. I knew signing up that holidays weren't a thing. Holidays, they don't exist in MMA, so I'm cool with it. But it was definitely nice to have the family time. I was going to do it win or loss, just take the couple months for family time, regrowth, rebuild. When you're in a constant state of a fight camp, you don't realize what kind of like mental and physical tolls it takes on you. So it's just been it was super nice to kind of just get away from being in that constant state of a fight camp. But I mean, 5 months is even too long. That's
Sure.
that's still too long. If I could have shortened it up, I would have loved to. there were some problems, getting matches, getting dates, getting venues, but I'm excited, man. I'm ready to be back for sure.
Well, the next bout is going to be Synergy FC 18, February 22nd. That's right around the corner. You'll be taking on another killer, David Evans. David Evans, that's a big name in your from your part of the country. I know that's a guy that you've heard about. Was he an opponent that was always kind of on your radar, or when the bout offer came through, were you surprised to see David's name on the contract?
It's crazy. I didn't even like me and Colton kind of talked. Like you said, he's a big name. He's been around for a minute, but if I'm being honest, I've never heard of this guy. I've never seen him fight. I didn't even know it existed. Like, and I think it's cause his little bit of a layoff. I think his last fight was 2023. That's around the time frame that I was really digging into it. So I think it's just I started while he was kind of he was on PFL. So I wasn't even watching PFL, so I wouldn't really notice. And then before that, he was on LFA, so he wasn't fighting local anymore. While I was, starting to come up, so I think that's probably why I missed him and I haven't seen him. But yeah, I mean, my matchmaker Colton, my matchmaker, Chris Gregory matchmaking this. This is to me, this is a perfect fight to come back to. I'm not jumping up, nine categories and as far as competition goes to where I won't be able to compete and I'll just get beat again or something. It's a pretty competitive, even fight, and the name's just huge. The dude's got a massive Instagram following. He's got a job at the desk at APFC. He's been to one of the bigger promotions at PFL. So, marking this off on the checklist of dudes I beat a former title contender at Titan FC. Former world champ. I beat Duran McCant, who was on the verge. You know, so I think marking off a PFL contender is going to be a huge way to start 2025.
When I think of David Evans, I think about a guy who's a pretty good wrestler, pretty good grappler. He can do a little bit of everything pretty well. And I think of you, I immediately think of power. I immediately think of finishes. But what's interesting about you, I think you're more of an X factor. I think there's a lot more of your game I just haven't seen because you haven't really had to show that. Do you believe that makes you a little bit more difficult to game plan for going into this fight versus Evans?
Absolutely, man. I got what probably close to 20 fights now, and you watch them all. You got he's a good boxer. He's got a front headlock. He's got some jujitsu. That's it. It's just that on repeat. I haven't. You don't know if I can offensively wrestle. You don't know like how good my kicking game is or the length of my stand up, my cardio. No one's seen my cardio, especially my pro. They don't know the kind of weapons I got late. So I think that's going to be a big thing. I've seen this dude through 3 rounds. I've seen him hurt. I've seen him knocked out. I've seen him, submitted. I've seen him getting submissions. I've seen him doing the knocking out. I've seen him on the big shows, the little shows. So I think me having that, not so I have a deep record, but it's not deep cage time. I think that plays in my advantage with these guys, just because you never know when you get in there.
Absolutely. Well, the one thing I think about this fight, and if I were David, I'm not speaking for him, but if I were him, I'd be like, I'm testing this guy's takedown defense right away. I'm going to try to go for that single leg. I'm going to try to make this a dirty, grimy, nasty fight because I know this guy's strong and I don't want to get hit by him. I'm going to try to take this fight down to the ground. As far as grappling, getting in the grappling exchanges with David, is that something that you're kind of anticipating and looking forward to demonstrating in this fight?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's kind of that was kind of been my whole career. I fought the good wrestlers. I fought the Mason Pillow, the James Buchanan, the Duran McCant. I fought these guys that were high level wrestlers. Another collegiate wrestler in David Evans. I know I don't have the time to make up for the collegiate wrestling. I'm not gonna go to wrestling practice every day and make up that lost time that I don't have. But I am MMA grappling. I've been there with people like Marshall Kemp, Billy Wilson. I had a couple of kids that are just now in college. They just got signed to college that are wrestlers that I wrestle with. I'm constantly wrestling. I'm up at Rough Riders Wrestling Academy in Lebanon, Missouri. They started a good academy there. They got wrestlers there. I'm constantly MMA grappling. Constantly on the wall, constantly doing this. So I don't think anyone's gonna hold me down at 45. That's not gonna happen. You can shoot as much as you want. We can do this game, 3 rounds if you wanted to, but he's not holding me down. That's not gonna happen.
Ray, people like watching you fight. People show up to these events because you knock people out. You're a violent guy. People love to see finishes. Is that what you're predicting for this fight against Evans, or do you think we might see a different fight come February 22nd?
Oh yeah. Like I always fight. I'm planning on finishing you. You know, I'm not touching you to score points. I'm not, trying to fill you out. I'm there to turn your lights off or make you do something stupid so I can choke you. So I don't I honestly don't see it going past the first. I see another pretty quick finish, but I'm ready for whatever, my cardio is great, my grappling's great. If he somehow grows a chin and gets strong, and can take punches finally, then I'll be there to give them to him. But I really don't think he's going to be able to, especially someone that hits like me. And I just don't see it happening. But don't be, I won't be amazed if it does. I'm not gonna put that out of options. I'm not gonna overlook it. But I think it gets done in one for sure.
Ray, you win this bout against Evans. You get a win over a big name in this guy. That puts you up to 6-1. And with your accolades, being the FAC featherweight champion, like there's not going to be a shortage of guys that want to fight you. And is there anyone that you want to fight next, or like what kind of makes sense for you after the Evans fight, in your opinion?
Uh, Man, it don't really matter to me too much, I mean, before I lost, everyone was talking about contender series in the summer and this and that and call ups, and I'm not rushing any of it, dude. I'm 23. I'm about to be 24. I've got all the time in the world in this game. Like you said, I'm 6-1. Most people are 6-1 by the time they're almost reaching their 30s. So I'm ahead of the game for sure in this. I'm just gonna grow, develop, fight whoever they sign up, and whenever the time comes, the time will come, and I'll be on the big show.
I understand. Ray, thank you so much for your time today. I'm actually going to give you kind of the final word here. If there's anyone that you need to thank or any sponsors or whatever that you need to shout out, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll honestly forget names and leave people out if I start mentioning sponsors and feel bad, but I do got the a live wire hoodie on right now. They were my latest sponsor that I got for this camp, so shout out to them. But I got a whole crew of sponsors, dude. I get a lot of them, so I don't even want to try to start listing names. I'll forget them. But Springfield Fight Club, they're like my second gym, my family. I go through every camp with them. The Pitt Smith, Dakota Bush, Colton Carmack, those guys that are with me, the OGs in the game that give me all this knowledge. I'm just a lineage of them. I'm just another one of them, taking everything they know and just applying it to myself. So shout out to those guys for sure.
And one final thing here. Are you still selling tickets for the event? And is there a pay per view that people can watch if they can't make it in person?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got tickets. All you gotta do is DM me. It's in Springfield, Missouri, at the Shrine Mosque, February 22nd. And as far as the pay-per-view goes, it should be streaming on MMA Futures.
All right. Well, there you go. Ray, I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of skill. I look forward to having you back on the program very soon, sir.
Thank you.